This is Entertainment Tonight.
Hearing this news was a gut punch to all of us who knew him. Twitch was a devoted husband, a loving father, and a beautiful soul who always shared his life.
So, we've all been wondering what's really been going on behind the scenes ever since the tragic loss of Stephen Twitch Boss. Well, his wife, Allison Holker, is stepping up and confronting Ellen DeGeneres and Diddy, yes, Diddy, about some major secrets. Word on the street is Diddy might have tried to silence her, but sis is not backing down. From unanswered questions to shocking claims, this story is giving everything: scandal, power moves, and drama you didn't see coming. Let's dive into what's really going down because it's about to get messy. Alright, let's really dive into Twitch's story and his wife's life because the details behind it are wild and definitely not as simple as the headlines make it seem. Let's start with Twitch, our favorite dancer turned DJ. Before everything went down, Twitch was the face of so many iconic shows, especially So You Think You Can Dance, where he became a fan favorite. People loved him for his energy, his charisma, and his pure passion for dancing. He was a shining star in the entertainment world, but behind that smile, there was a lot more going on. Twitch was also a family man, married to Allison Holker, a dancer and choreographer in her own right. Their relationship was like something out of a Hollywood love story. Totally adorable and supportive. They had two beautiful kids together, and to the public, they seemed like the perfect couple. But behind the scenes, Twitch was battling some heavy stuff. People close to him say he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders, especially after Ellen's show was canceled and all the negative energy surrounding her. Twitch was caught in the middle of it, and that had to take a toll. His friend, Taji Hall, revealed that Twitch had been facing a lot of stress over his connection to Ellen, especially as she faced major backlash in the public eye. Being a part of Ellen's world came with a ton of spotlight, and unfortunately, the cancellation didn't make things easier for him. People started questioning why Twitch was still standing by her side when everyone was turning on Ellen. That pressure was real. Humans aren't designed to handle that much stress. It's hard to even imagine the weight Twitch was carrying, feeling the pressure to be the happy, positive guy we all saw on screen, but internally struggling with who he was tied to and how much that was affecting his mental health. But we have to talk about Twitch's wife, Allison, too. Now, Allison's story is just as important here. On the surface, Allison was also living her dream. She was working as a choreographer, dancing, and like her husband, was a well-known face in the dance community. She and Twitch had a love story that many people admired. They were known for sharing moments of joy on social media, raising their kids, and supporting each other in their careers. But all that glam and fame didn't shield them from the storms brewing beneath the surface. It wasn't just about the stress Twitch was going through. Allison herself was navigating some heavy emotions, especially knowing what was going on behind closed doors. And the thing is, Allison knew something was up before anyone else did. She had been trying to reach Twitch that day, calling him multiple times. And when she couldn't get him on the phone, she just knew something was wrong. Her gut was telling her, and sadly, it turned out to be true. After the tragic news hit, Allison had to put on a brave face for the world while dealing with the pain of losing her husband. But behind that public persona, Allison was navigating her own fears. According to sources, she knew what had really been going on in Twitch's life and knew about the pressures he was under with Ellen. What's even more chilling is the fact that she allegedly knows everything about what Ellen and Diddy were involved in, and she's keeping quiet. Why? To protect her children. Allison's main priority was always her kids, and to make sure they had a stable future. She had to sell their family home and move to a new place for safety. People around her said she was making sure her family was financially secure too. She filed legal paperwork for half of Twitch's estate, and that includes future royalties from his work on So You Think You Can Dance and Step Up. She even sold their house for $3.8 million and bought a new one for $5 million. She wasn't just trying to move on from the tragedy, she was securing her kids' future. Allison's actions speak volumes. She's been living with fear, trying to protect her babies while dealing with the very real threat of whatever secrets Twitch may have known. She had to navigate this with grace, but let's be real, this was no easy feat. The emotional toll had to be intense, not just from the loss of her husband, but from the fear of what she knew about the people Twitch was tied to. Now think about it. Allison has been quiet, but the truth can only stay hidden for so long. The internet is buzzing with suspicions, some saying Twitch knew too much about what went down behind the scenes with Ellen and Diddy, and maybe that's what led to his tragic end. And Allison, she knows it all, but she's holding it down, protecting her kids from whatever dark reality may be lurking. So, here we are, left with questions that won't go away. Twitch and Allison's lives were far from simple, and now, after his passing, the truth is coming out piece by piece. It's a heartbreaking and mysterious story that still doesn't add up. But as the pieces fall into place, we can't help but wonder, what did Twitch really know? What did Ellen and Diddy do, and why is Allison so quiet about it all? There's a whole lot more to this story than meets the eye. So recently, Allison dropped a bombshell about Ellen and Diddy that is straight up jaw-dropping. She's accusing them of being behind his tragic death, and get this, they allegedly forced her to be part of it. 2024 started with drama, and it's closing out with even more chaos. So, here's the tea. Twitch apparently uncovered some dark secrets about Ellen's ties to Diddy's shady dealings. And when he refused to stay quiet about it, well, you know what happened next? Absolutely heartbreaking. Now get this, Ellen and Diddy were tight back in the day. Word on the street is that Ellen was always on the VIP list for Diddy's infamous parties, and in return, Diddy was practically a regular on her show. I mean, the man made 17 appearances. Yeah, you heard that right. 17 times. That's not some casual, oh, let's grab lunch thing. There's something deeper going on there. They were thick as thieves, and it's no surprise that their connection was far from innocent.
Some of these are Ciroc, some of these are water, and you're just gonna, depending on if Mark gets the question right, every time he gets it wrong, you have to take a shot. Okay. All right? All right, Mark, on the periodic table.
Kentucky.
What is the...
Drink.
Now, you know.
Drink.
What's the symbol for water?
Albuquerque. Drink. H2O. H2O. I was late on the buzzer.
It was late on he came after the buzzer. So,
okay, so
right.
I pick one.
But wait, it gets juicier. There was this one episode where Ellen and Diddy slipped up and pretty much admitted to knowing all about these parties. They were talking about these gatherings like it was no big deal, but then Ellen tried to backpedal super quick, claiming she only knew about them through Diddy's song lyrics.
So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
There were a lot of things said about this clip. One person said, the way they laugh together because they know most of the public have no idea what really goes on at these parties is sickening. And another person said, that's a different type of party, he told y'all there. But we weren't born yesterday. The internet went crazy digging into Ellen's past, and what they found was pretty wild. There's this video of Ellen practically running to her car when someone dared ask her about the allegations against Diddy. The panic in her eyes? It was real. You know when people try to dodge the truth, their whole body language gives them away. And trust me, her nervous reaction had the internet in flames. But we're not done. Remember Ellen's ex-girlfriend Anne Heche? Well, things take an even darker turn here. Anne passed away just 4 months before Twitch. The timing is super suspicious. People thought Ellen was the one who ended things with Anne, but it turns out that might not be the whole story. The way everything unfolded just doesn't sit right. If you're following along, you've probably noticed how much of this seems to be repeating itself. Tragic and mysterious deaths, dark connections, and cover-ups. So, what's really going on here? How deep does this go? And let's not forget the bigger picture here. Twitch was, in a sense, a pawn in this whole game. He had seen too much, uncovered too many secrets, and didn't play by the rules, which seems to have been his fatal mistake. So, was his death just a tragic accident, or are we looking at a much darker plot here? If these allegations are true, how much longer can the truth stay buried? This is one mess that's only getting messier, and we're just getting started. Just weeks before her tragic passing, Anne Heche went on a podcast and dropped a bombshell that's still echoing through Hollywood. Anne, with zero chill, straight up said she walked away from Ellen, and it wasn't because of some petty drama. Oh no, she accused Ellen of selling her soul to the industry. Can you even believe it? She was like, Ellen's out here obsessed with money, billions in fact. She wanted $60 billion. Yes, you heard that right, and I wanted love. But it gets worse. Anne went on to claim that Ellen tried to have her committed to a mental facility when she left, working behind the scenes to blackball her from the industry. Imagine that, really trying to shut someone down. Anne didn't hold back saying, the truth I spoke, I was hit more, buried more, despised more. And let's just say things didn't stop there. Anne believed Ellen wanted to bury her truth and replace it with her own. It gets even more chilling, darling. Anne said, they tried to put me in an institution, and 2 people wanted my truth buried so badly. She was ready to expose it all, no matter the cost. And then just a few months later, Anne was involved in a horrific car accident that left her with second-degree burns all over her body. She was trapped in that burning car for 30 minutes before help arrived. The autopsy revealed she passed from smoke inhalation, burns, and a broken sternum. But here's the kicker. They found traces of benzodiazepines in her system from past use, but none during the crash. Huh? Super suspicious, right? Now, just 4 months later, we lose Twitch. He was found at a motel just a 15-minute walk from his house. His wife, Allison, couldn't get a hold of him after multiple calls, and the motel supervisor found him. Authorities quickly labeled it as self-inflicted, but honestly, the details are all over the place. First, no note, then suddenly TMZ reports that there was one? What is going on here? The real chilling part is that Allison knows everything about what went down with Ellen and Diddy. but she's staying silent to protect her kids. Can you imagine living with that kind of fear? She had to sell their family home and move somewhere else to feel safe. But she's not just trying to run, she's securing her future. So now we gotta ask, what do you think? Could Ellen and Diddy really be involved in Twitch's tragic passing? And what about Allison? Is she sitting on some serious secrets that could change everything? I'm dying to know your thoughts. Drop a comment below.